Hi guys, this is Raquel with Paints and Glitter, and I am coming to you today with a live tutorial on how to assemble this diamond cut heart Verso die from TONIC Studios and chat a little bit about what my favorite dies are and why. I'm going to be making this little heart-shaped box here as I craft, and hopefully some of you will join me as I craft today. And I also am going to let you guys know of some really awesome deals that are happening with TONIC Studios. This morning, good morning, thank you for joining me. This morning Owen from TONIC Studios went on live as he does in the mornings and mentioned that he had previously mentioned that there would be some really awesome deals going on in the US. And so the deals are that there are going to be sales that were previously in the UK only now they are also in the US, and it's going to be through the end of this month. And let's see here, I'm going to as I chat here, I'm going to just let you guys know that the sales are going to be different every day. I thank you guys for joining me. Please say hello in the chat so I know who's here. And I'm just going to be talking to you guys about the TONIC Studios dies that I have and which ones are on sale right now, and also assembling this box as I chat. So hopefully you guys will join me in the chat. I would love to see who's here so far. I see, oh, hi Katie. Good morning, Katie. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for saying hello. Also, I'm going to be assembling this little box. Isn't it adorable? I absolutely love it. I just got it in the mail, and this was part of one of those Wednesday deals. I know, Katie, that you are in the UK. However, here in the US, we get different sales and different I guess content when it comes to TONIC Studios. So I just wanted to come along and say hello, craft a little bit, chat a little bit, and let you guys know what is coming, upcoming in the next few days. And that is that within the next few days throughout what's left of the month of May, we're going to get the sales that had happened in the UK that were stalled, if you will, because of the inability of them having enough people to work for the company through COVID. So, that's affected all companies, sadly, but I wanted to just let you guys know one of the dies that is on sale is the Mythical Glade collection. And before I assemble this, I'm just going to show what you can make with that die set. So I had to step away for a second, and I'm back. This is one of the items that I have made with the Mythical Glade collection die set, and that is on sale right now. Oh, well, happy birthday, Katie. Happy birthday. I am so happy to have you here on your birthday. My goodness, what a wonderful occasion. And Merlin's doing well. That's awesome. That's so good to hear. So I just wanted to let you know that when you get the die sets, and let me grab that die set quickly because I know not everyone is familiar with TONIC Studios. Okay. I thought I had it on hand, and I'm sorry there that I had to walk away for a second. I thought I had my die set on hand, and it seems to have walked away on me. So in any case, what I'll do is I'll link it down below. But the Mythical Glade collection has these huge tags that you can use, and that is the shape that I use to make these pages. So I'm just going to quickly, I know I did a video on this, but I'm just going to show you guys some of the layering that you can do with that collection. Now, just to let you know, I did have to use some washi tape with the die set to be able to cut out the paper that I use, because I happen to use watercolor paper for these pages because I wanted to hand color each page, and that's exactly what I did here. That's why you see the colors there on the pages that look like splatter and all of that. I did that by hand. So I used thicker cardstock, and because of that, I ended up having a little bit of trouble with that intricacy. However, it cut out in the end. You know, some of the pieces I had to cut by hand, but I did contact the company and let them know, and they said that they would take care of that. So these are all shapes that you can cut. Now this has been dry embossed, so guys, if you're here, please say hello, just so that I don't feel like I'm being rude to you, because I would love to say hi. So what you can do is you can cut out these shapes, and as you can tell, this one is a large one. This one is the largest that you can cut with that collection, but you can also cut out these smaller shapes here. So you don't have to only cut out the big pieces. However, when you do put them together, as you can see here, you can make some really awesome projects. And I just think they're so versatile. Someone had told me, I think she left a comment, I don't know if it was in my Facebook page or not, but she said she didn't know that you could make mini albums, like she hadn't thought that you could make mini albums with these kinds of dies. And I just wanted to let her know, and I don't know if she'll watch this video or not, but that all you have to do to make a mini album out of any shape is to have a foundation that creates a hinge. So long as you do the mountain valley folds on a piece of paper and then adhere your pages on one side, you should be able to make a mini album out of the die cuts that you enjoy. So you're not limited to using these dies just to make a card front, for instance. And so that's what I like to do. And I, for instance, here, if you see this hinge here that creates this nice versatile page, it's just a piece of paper folded in half and adhered one to the other there. That's as difficult as that gets, you know. Of course, you want to be mindful of how close you place them and how thick your paper is, all of that. But that's something that you learn as you go along, is what I wanted to say. So that's one thing that you could make. Hi, Sandra. Good morning, and thank you so much for saying hello. I truly appreciate that. So this book was made with a Mythical Glade die set that is available right now on sale with TONIC Studios, so you may want to jump on that. It also has another set that is goes in conjunction with this, which I don't have, so it's at a wonderful price point, and you may want to take advantage of that. I'm going to show you another example, if you could bear with me one moment. Let's see here. So the other one that I can show you here is a bit different, and I have to reach on a shelf, which is why sometimes it takes me long. So here's this one. Hi, Helen. Hi, Sandra. And I think Boyd. Hi, Boyd. Good morning. So here's another one that you can make, again, using the same large die. And here is a whole different look, if you can tell. These, I can't remember the collection of papers that I use with this, but I use the same concept of just making the pages, you know, on one side they're putting them on a hinge, I should say, and then I made these huge pages. So you see this, all I did was use a different die from TONIC Studios to make these belly bands, things like that. Another TONIC Studios collection here was what I use for this page. And well, let me see who else is here. Okay, just want to make sure I say hello to everyone. So you can make very different looking, you know, books and projects. Here, all I did was one big pocket there. And this is just, you know, another example of what you can do. These are from a different collection, but this is also a TONIC Studios collection. And these just have little magnets. So good morning, Lois. Thank you so much for joining us. And then here I used another collection also. And what I did was I made like little valleys by cutting the paper as so. Actually, I used a TONIC Studios purse die to make these valleys. So that's what I love about this, is that you can take a shape, you can, you know, kind of flip it around, take a different look at it and see how it would suit you. And then here's another, these are also Tonic Studios dies here. So I wanted to make this playful. I did, obviously there are no pictures in it, but I had to travel unexpectedly, and there went the plans to fill that album, but that's not what you guys are here for. I just want to let you know this is another option, and it makes a really substantial book too, if you like the larger ones, because not everyone likes the very tiny mini albums. So in any case, what I'll do now is I'm going to start assembling this little box, because I did say I was going to make this. And if you guys want to stick around, yes, you're right, Sandra. The negatives are wonderful too. Oh, hi. So good morning, Carolyn. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm just discussing these dies. Hi, Josie, because they are on sale right now at Tonic Studios, and they're an amazing deal. I mean, I always say you guys will pay way less for them than I did. But sometimes my impatience gets the best of me. But you can use them. For instance, this one is a different shape, but I used it. Let me show you quickly. So what I used on the cover here, this is the Mythical Glade collection, to answer your question, Carolyn. And it's also, let me go back if you could bear with me. And I apologize, I used I used the dies, and I was all ready to show them to you, and I don't know where they are. But it's the same set that I used to make this book. So if you can see how different they look. And of course here I layered this layer here, which is also this one. But you can tell that it's quite, what a stark difference, right? So yeah, so this here, let me just show you here. Okay, so again, this is that other piece. Thank you so much, Carolyn. All right, so here's what I want to show you. This page, which is not my favorite, by the way, because the paper, once I put it all together, I'm not a big pattern person, but I was pushing myself. I like to do that when I make my projects, is sometimes I like to use even papers that I don't like at all, just to see how I can incorporate them into my projects, because paper pads often come with pattern papers, as you guys already know. So here's this shape, just to show you guys, again, here. And so I just was able to make a side, pocket here. And then as you can see here, you can also cut into these pages with some of the dies, so you can interchange them. And here I just wanted to incorporate some twine. So despite the fact that I don't like the pattern, I do like the elements in the page, and I hope that makes sense. So so anyway, that's just a lot of fun to do, to incorporate them into different books and that sort of thing. And I never did a final walkthrough on this one, I don't think, because again, as I mentioned before, I had to travel unexpectedly, and so I didn't get to really, kind of do a final walkthrough on that. But I love the way that these turned out. And of course, I've got videos on that if you want to watch them. But let's get to assembling this box, because I think it's so cute. I used Tonic Studios papers. I'm just going to set aside this other book. For the gold here. So let me show you, actually, here's a snippet of what's left over. So here's this paper. It's so lush. So if you haven't tried Tonic Studios cardstock, you may want to take advantage of the deals that are on right now also, because look at how lush that is. I just think it's so beautiful. And then this paper with the butterflies is Maggie Holmes, and this is from Chasing Dreams. It's another collection that, of course, is just absolutely adorable. Then this glitter paper is from Hobby Lobby. This here was with the glitter pen from Tonic Studios. That's what I used to glitter up that little flower, sorry, and then here I just layered 2 different flowers. What I did was that you can cut this flower here, let me show you guys, and then just leave the papers inside. You don't have to poke them all out if you don't want to, and then layer one on top of the other, you know, in a different paper, of course, and then you can get a different look on that. Here are the leaves that cut out with this collection, and I'm of course referring to this one. I mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but in case you just came in, the diamond cut heart box. And you can of course make it taller. It's up to you how you want to play around with the dies. So I wanted to show you guys that. And here's what my twist that I want to put on the one that I'm making now, is that I want to make the top here, because you have this other option, which is to make this top here that says just for you. I want to make a shaker out of this. So let's play around. And I'm going to sit down now. So I've been standing all this time. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you so much for your feedback. I truly appreciate it. Mini albums are just something that I really enjoy making, and I enjoy sharing them with other people, so why not, right? I'm going to start assembling this, and I was wanting to show... Yes, Sandra, you're absolutely right. You can die cut 2 pieces of paper in 2 different colors and, of course, run them at the same time. One thing that I tend to do is that I tend to adhere the papers first. For instance, this right here, the reason this stayed in so well is that I did adhere 110-pound cardstock on the back. So there's a great way to keep these pieces from kind of popping out all over the place. And then this one I just ran through the die cutting machine on its own. And so of course, you know, you can pop those out much easier and then layer them on top. You can switch it around if you want to. You don't have to line it up perfectly. It's all up to you. So let's see. I'm going to start here with these panels. These are panels that you can cut out with that this collection. I think they're absolutely adorable. What I did was I cut it out in the silver paper. This paper here is this one here. This is not TONIC Studios paper. It's an old DCWV collection that I had that I absolutely loved, and I hoarded it until I just decided, come on now, use it. And so I've been trying to incorporate older papers with new. This paper is from the Tender Sentiment collection. It was given to me by a sweet, sweet friend from Russia. She sent that to me, and it is the one that I used in my that other book that I just showed you guys with the fairy in the front and everything. So if you're interested in that, you would have to order it from Russia. I've not yet seen an American retailer that carries that paper, and it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. So let's see here. I would love to know what you guys are working on. Are you working on any projects today? Do you have, let's see here. Do you guys have any of these dies? Have you taken advantage of the sales recently? Because as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, when most of you guys weren't here, is that TONIC Studios is having some amazing deals right now on a lot of dies that they weren't able to publish because of the COVID virus here in the United States. So now what they're doing is that they're going to publish these sales up until the end of this month. So every day there's going to be a different deal. Today, the Mythical Glade die collection is on sale, so that's why I was showing you guys those books in case you want to jump on that. There's also some cardstock and adhesive and 3 kinds of Nouveau flakes, the silver, gold, and what's the other one? Silver, gold, I forgot what the other one is. So, oh, you saw the videos just now, Sandra? Yeah. They have some amazing, amazing products. And the other thing is that there's, I did an Instagram video showing this particular set. There are 8 different kinds of panels that you can do for just this one set. And I just find that to be amazing, that they add so much detail to what they're producing, you know, rather than just straight lines and that sort of thing. The other thing is that products are that they make are also they play well with one another. And what I mean by that is, you guys saw the video, or I mean the mini albums I just showed you guys. I was taking a look at this cantilever box that I recently made, and I realized that these little squares might fit on top of this. Now, they may be a little bit smaller than these panels, but who's to say you can't use them together? And the other thing is that these little side pieces also will play well with this collection. So now you have, aside from the two options that you have for this box that come with it, you have 8 more. So that to me is just huge. I love that. Oh, Sandra, I don't give out my address on the internet, but if you want to email me, I will respond to that question. Yeah, I don't. Sadly, the internet is not a safe place to be telling people where you live. But the one thing I can tell you is that I am in upstate New York. So if you know where the apples are in upstate New York, then you can find me. Yeah, but no, I know. I'm just teasing, Sandra. I have a very dry sense of humor sometimes, so it's hard for people to tell on the internet when I'm joking and when I'm being serious. But no, I would gladly tell you where I live. The problem is that there are other ears out there that don't need to know where I live. But yeah, you'd be welcome to come to my home and craft with me and play with all these goodies. I wouldn't have an issue with that, so long as you come just by yourself. Oh, you're in San Diego? Oh my goodness. Yeah, and these things, you know, years ago, and this is going way, way back, I traveled with my Cricut machine. You just gave me a flashback to traveling with crafting materials. And it was so funny because this was before 9/11. I think it was. It had to have been. Yeah, it had to have been before 9/11. But in any case, I remember going through the, what do you call that? Security in the airport, and they were asking me what I was traveling with, because I put my Cricut in my luggage. I was not, you know, my carry-on. I was not about to trust anybody with that machine. And you know, the guy just looked at me and he goes, you know, what's in there? And I said, it's a design machine. And I just said, I was so serious because I didn't know how he was gonna react. And I was all ready for them to tell me to take it out, and, you know, I couldn't travel with it. And he just said, oh, okay. I was able to take it and my carry-on. Now, think about that now. They probably would have arrested me now. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. So yeah, sometimes the sense of humor pays off, you know. I was just testing the waters to see what I could get away with. And of course, you know, you can't really do much damage unless you lunge. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Unless you... Oh gosh, my videos always turn out this way. This is why I don't do live too much. But anyway. Yeah, Cricut machines are safe to travel with, and that's my PSA. But this video is about TONIC Studios dies. But what I wanted to tell you guys before I forget, because I know I ramble, when you're going to cut pieces like this that are all, you know, as you can tell here, assembly line pieces, you should cut your paper ahead of time in, for instance, 1-inch pieces. And this is what I found. I did like this piece and this piece because they're so tiny. Before you go drive yourself nuts cutting paper, just do one long strip like that and put your dies on your machine and then run them through assembly line style, and you'll be able to craft much faster that way. And that's just a little tip for newbies. Of course, if you already know that, then it's redundant to you, but oopsie. I just wanted to share that. And Did I get to use it? You know, gosh, I brought it to my mother's house, and that's why I was traveling with it, was because I was so excited back then to show my mother what this amazing machine did and all that, right? And I don't remember her being very thrilled because she's so creative that I think to her it was like, oh, okay, you paid how much for that? Oh my gosh. But, you know, to me, I was just like, oh my goodness, you have to see this. And of course, back then it wasn't as advanced as it is now. Back then you had to put the little cartridges in it like you were playing Atari. Oh my gosh. No, I don't get paid, Sandra. I don't represent any company whatsoever. I collaborate with Renee Bouquets right now. But I don't represent any company. I haven't been given that luxury. I would love to. If TONIC Studios wanted to adopt me, I would be happy to work for them. But I don't. I just really love the product, and I like to be sincere in what I do and share what I like. I love crafting. I love paper crafting. I love meeting people who like paper crafting, because I think it really does, you know, it's not about, I always say this, it's not about what you make, it's about the intention behind it, which is to uplift someone else's spirits, to make them feel happy, to surprise them, all of that. I always say, you know, create these things in love, because you could definitely do the same with any product out there. This just happens to be one that I really like, you know, and that's why I enjoy sharing it. The other thing is that I do also like the people behind the product. They stand behind it, and what do you call it? Oh, I'm sorry. I kind of lost my train of thought there. They stand behind the product in the, okay, my adhesive isn't being nice, so I might have to switch. What I was gonna say is that they, when you reach out to TONIC Studios, because inevitably things happen to products here and there, like whether it be through shipment or whether it be, you know, that whenever anything is mass produced, every once in a while some glitch may happen. The experiences that I've had so far have been very pleasant. They've stood behind it, and their customer service has been top notch. And, you know, as a person who offers customer service myself, I think that that's a very good practice. And so if someone else is the same way, then absolutely I'm going to say, you know, this was my experience, and share it, because it's so easy to share what goes wrong. I prefer to share what goes right. And I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I even said that correctly. You need to be surprised. Sorry, Sandra, I was rambling, so you need to be surprised by what? If you could clarify, because, of course, when crafting and talking, my brain just, you know, goes all over the place. Now, just to let you guys know, I'm pushing these little tabs back like that, and what I would suggest is that if you're using heavy cardstock like I am here, that you place your panels as I did here first, because it's so much easier to assemble this when all of these panels are on there like that, rather than making the box first and then trying to apply all of these little pieces of paper on the outside. So that's just a little tip there. And now I'm going to be able to push this away like that. Now some of these, and you'll see in a moment, some of these are not going to end up folded, you know, in a mountain fold at the end. However, it's okay to start bending the paper like this. More positive. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I kind of lost the train of the conversation there. I apologize. But I wanted to mention, you want to break these fibers a little bit, but don't go too crazy either. Now, this is 110-pound cardstock, so it's going to have a little bit of that, you know, cracking going on there. The other box that I made here, just to let you guys know, I did make with a lighter cardstock, and it ended up absolutely perfect. So it's up to you how you want to make it. I like to try out my different materials, you know, and if I don't like it, I'll let you guys know. The other thing is that you can also put panels on the inside if you're into having a really finished box, because I didn't show you guys the inside. I only did the top and bottom there, but you could certainly do the sides if you have 300 hours in your week. Oh, okay. Sorry, Sandra. Reading and talking and gluing and all of that at the same time is, you know, not always as easy as it looks. But I did want to make sure I answered any questions that you guys had. So here I'm going to go ahead and place my adhesive. I am going to turn on my glue gun just in case. I don't think I'll need it, but I did use Nuvo adhesive on the other box, and if you haven't used this adhesive, I find it to be really great. I recently went on a little bit of adhesive kick here and just bought all different kinds, but I am still testing them before I give any kind of opinion on those, because anyone who crafts knows that they're not all created equal, and Lord knows we can waste a lot of money on materials just, you know, that we end up in the pile, as we all know, right? And I don't like recommending something that I know won't work, but okay. So here we are. Here's what I noticed when I was making that other box, or any box, is that if you hold your paper so that it hinges out a little bit, it makes it a lot easier when you go to assemble it, if you have to apply adhesive like this. The other option would be, of course, to use red line adhesive that comes in the 1/8-inch strip. I don't happen to have any, so I'm just going to go ahead and use my liquid adhesive. And now is when you guys get to practice patience, because you're going to have to wait wait it out as I assemble this. But it shouldn't take very long. But in the meantime, oh, yeah, Carolyn, if you spend money on any of these dies, yeah, go ahead. I mean, you know what? I've been blamed for worse things than that. So, absolutely. It's so funny. I was talking to my son about the influence of the internet, the influence of, you know, others, and how we need to be careful about that. And I said, I gave him the example of myself. I said, listen, I know. I know all about influencing. So you have to be really careful who you listen to, because people will influence you to do things that you shouldn't be doing. Now, here's the thing. One thing I will say, and I've said this in previous videos, but I realize that not everybody watches all of my videos, and I wouldn't expect you to, but that I don't recommend you get anything out of impulse, because, you know, impulse shopping is just not a good thing. I budget for these things. I've mentioned that before, and I talk it over with my husband, because that is just how we live. But hey, if it's in your budget, I say go for it. You know, because every once in a while you just want to try something new. Now here's what I did here, is that I pinched the paper this way, like that, because this is now going to be a valley fold here, and I found that to be a lot easier. Here we go. Because you do have to hold it, and that's one thing I noticed, is that you do have to hold that little V shape there. Yeah, there are a lot of YouTubers, Sandra, you're absolutely right. I happened to start gosh, I don't remember how long ago, but I think I mentioned this before, that I started doing the YouTube videos because I participated in a group swap many years ago, and I think it was a requirement or something like that, that you do a video, and I had no idea how to do a video or anything like that, but I did have a really good camera back then. Actually, not really. It was a really good camera for pictures, but not for video. And in any case, I you know, put this thing up. My son, who was back then 8 years old or something like that, maybe 10 or something, he helped me with it. And it was the worst video ever. I think I took it down. I don't even know if it's still up there in the world, in the cloud. But I got it out of my system, and this is the thing, that I realized that I didn't die from the fear of doing something new and uncomfortable. And I met so many wonderful people through the process that's why I continued doing it. Now, I stopped for a very long time because my personal life just took a different turn, as it happens. However, I'm glad that I came back onto social media to do this, because it's become so much more than just paper crafting, and that's something that I'm so grateful for. I've met some amazing people, and some of you are watching right now, and you know that you guys, I appreciate you guys being part of my life, and you know, so all of that is just to say that you never know. You never know what you know, where you're going to end up, but sometimes taking the risk of doing something that isn't easy is well worth it. So, because YouTube videos, you know, this whole live thing, I'm just doing it because I'm enjoying the company of friends through social media. I'm enjoying sharing what I like to do, but it's not, you know, it takes time away from other things, and it's, you know, anyone who does it knows it's not always very easy, and there's always, you know, the ones that want to comment about what you did wrong. Oh gosh. Oh yeah. The technology aspect of it, let me tell you, it can increase your prayer life. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So that's another reason to do the live videos for me, is that having to edit videos, it takes a long time and all of that. So even against my own judgment, I come along and do my lives. Yes, Carolyn, absolutely. And just to let you guys know, if you don't know Tea Time and Dolls, who is Carolyn, who's on the chat right now, if you haven't been to her channel, please go and subscribe. She's got this amazing collection of digital papers. In fact, Carolyn, let me see here. One of them that I printed out is right here, because I was looking at some of them. Look at how gorgeous this is. And it's so soft and pretty. Now, my printer is not the best right now because of the inks that I have in it. However, I still think this is gorgeous. And she designed this, and look at the dress. Her little dress here and her bonnet and everything all match the paper collection. I think it's just stunning. So beautiful. So yeah, so please support Carolyn. She's got her papers on Etsy. And you're not going to be disappointed. They're so pretty. So if you like shabby chic, go to her channel and watch her videos. I think I'm more clean and simple when it comes to crafting, but you know, with little elements of shabby here and there. But Carolyn's are all out shabby chic. So if you enjoy that, you're going to have a blast watching her videos. So there's the bottom of this box. As far, let's see here. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sandra. Yes, God is, you know what? God is with us for the big and the small and everything in between. So yeah, I'll keep your, is it your grandson? Yes, I'll keep your grandson in my prayers. And Josie, to answer your question, I have an Epson. I think it's a 7720 or something like that. It is one of the wide format printers. However, you can print out the papers in any kind of, the printer I had before was, I think, an HP or something like that, and I believe I got it at like Walmart. So you don't need a really, you know, substantial or big printer to print out digital collections. Okay, so I'm just lining the bottom of this box just to show you guys here. That's all I did, was put that little heart on the inside. That covers the little tabs. But look at so far, how sweet is that? I mean, I think it's so darling. Now let's move on to the next piece. And this is going to be the top. Now, another thing I wanted to mention before I forget. Oh, you're very welcome, Sandra. Another thing I wanted to mention, if you're using directional paper, meaning if you have stripes or anything like that, bear in mind that this unfinished edge, if you will, is the top of your box, and then the other one with the tabs is the bottom. So when you go to cut your paper, you want to keep that in mind. I happen to have little butterflies, for instance, on here. So I had to be mindful of how to place these little strips because I didn't want my butterflies to look like they were upside down. And that's just me. I'm type A. I'm finicky about things like that. But if you don't care, then obviously, you know, you can just cut the paper any way you want. So to move on to this piece here, I'm excited because I want to make that shaker bit, but I'm going to try to make this a little bit easier for myself here. I'm just going to place the bigger pieces first. I'm going to start on both edges here. And yeah, so back to the topic of enabling. It's so hard not to pick up everything you like and all that, but I was I mentioned to somebody that, you know, Wednesdays are a really good time to pick up sale prices on these dies. So on Wednesdays is when they have their kind of midweek die, or I don't die sale, I'm sorry. So that's when I was able to pick up the that's called the cantilever. I said the wrong word. That's when I was able to pick up the cantilever die set, which I really liked, and it sold out in minutes. I mean, I could not believe how quickly that happened. So that's what I wanted to mention, was Wednesdays are a good sale day for TONIC Studios. And the other thing was, I'm just going to do this here by placing the adhesive on the bottom. This, I don't recommend you guys work like this. I just want to be faster right now. The other thing was Wednesday deals, and what was the other thing? Oh, the dies are released in the UK first, obviously, because this is a UK-based company. But a month later, and I'm referring to Craft Stash, although Craft Stash has a US website as well as a UK website. But then 30 days later, the same dies are released with other companies, and those other companies may have a better price point. So sometimes it's a give and take. If you're not familiar with this here, this is a quick stick. Say that 3 times fast. I really like this. It makes it a lot easier to craft when, as you can tell here, when you're picking up pieces. Especially, oopsie, I did that upside down. Especially if you happen to have glitter or something on the paper and you don't want to get it on your fingers or that sort of thing. Okay, so I've got all those little panels there. And I'm not going to place this one just yet because of the fact that I want to make that dimensional. Again, this is the top of the box, so if your paper is directional, be mindful of that. I'm just going to now fold back all of these little tabs here. I also wanted to mention this weekend, if you are able to come back, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, of course I would love for you to do that. But I would love for you to come back on Sunday. There's going to be a new video. I can't wait for you guys to see the project that I'll be sharing then. It's going to be a design team project for Renee Bouquets. And I just had a lot of fun making it. And yeah, I hope you guys come back and watch it. So maybe I'll set it as a premiere tomorrow, so that way you guys can remember. But if you click the notification bell, it'll let you know that there's a video coming, and that way you can, you know, have it on your list of little things to do on this weekend. Now I'm going to fold these as I did before. Okay. But being gentle at the same time so that I don't crack the paper, of course. And I'm going to start on this long edge here. You guys want a sneak peek of my project? I'd be breaking the rules, but I'm reading the chat, guys, so if... Oh, I'm sorry. Carmen Lori, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to ignore you. I had not seen your comment. So the paper line that I'm using here, this one is called Tender Sentiment by Summer Studios, I believe. Yes, Summer Studio. And it is from Russia. And then this is an older paper. The silver is an older paper collection from DCWV that I just happened to have in my stash. The paper was a gift to me from, she goes by Belkin on Instagram. So we just met on Insta, as, you know, a lot of ladies do. We meet each other, become friends, and do swaps or whatever. And she just was a darling, and sent me some gorgeous papers. And this just happened to be one of them. And it's a beautiful floral. Now I wish I had scanned it into my computer, because I would love to have more of it. But I might just, you know, hit her up and ask her if she can sell me some, because I haven't seen Summer Studio papers here in the US. So if you guys watch this video, whether it be now or on replay, and you know of any Summer Studio papers here in the US, please, please leave me a comment and let me know, because I would love to know of a retailer here in the US. Okay, so now I'm going to fold this as a valley fold here, as I did before. Okay, just pinching that very gently. And start assembling this part here. And I get a little bit more comfortable with the adhesive as I go along. But depending on your comfort level with assembling these things, you may want to go a little bit slower, a little bit faster. That's up to you, because these little tabs are not very wide. Oh, you're very welcome, Carmen, and I'm so sorry I hadn't answered you sooner. I just am looking at my comments on my little old rickety iPad. And my eyesight is just, oh, it's not what it used to be. Even though doctors claim that I have 20/20 vision, I'm telling you right now, I don't. I think it's 20 on Monday and 20 on Tuesday, but not all together. Oh, goodness. I've had my eyes dilated and all of that good stuff to check for... In fact, I don't know if Boyd is still here, but Boyd and his wife invited us to their son's graduation party, and we showed up with the those big glasses that they give you when when you have your eyes checked. My husband and I both, on the same day, were walking around with those at a graduation party. So that was, yeah, that was cute. Oh gosh. All right, so you guys see how this is looking? So little by little, you know, just like the rabbit and the hare. Little by little, you get going, and before you know it, you're done. But of course, I like to complicate things, so I will be making the top a little bit more dimensional than I did before. And, oh, thank you, Carmen. I like to try to, you know, I like to think that I can use both sides of my brain at once. Some days it works better than others, but, oh goodness. My focus is usually not on one thing at a time. It's almost impossible for me, but I try to use that as a strength. So what I wanted to mention is that I was walking around I think it was a dollar store or Dollar Tree or one of those things. And I'm not trying to change the subject. I just want to show you guys something that will be helpful. If I can find it. All right. In any case, I found this foam that comes with the adhesive on one side. I want to say that I got this at the kids department. I think I found it. Goodness. Well, in any case, I found another sheet. Okay, so if you find these bright, gaudy looking foam sheets in the dollar store or Dollar Tree, you can use these, as I will be using them here, to make your shakers. So, of course, my recommendation is that you use the color that matches best on your project. And in this case, this yellow is way too neon, so I opted for the purple. There's also black in the packaging, and I think, let me see here. I want to say there was fuchsia. I think there's a hot pink in that, but it's meant for kids to play with, and I thought this might be useful with die cutting, and sure enough, it cut like butter. So what I also like about it is that it comes with adhesive on one side already. Of course, I'll back it up with more adhesive, but I thought that was a clever option to use and very inexpensive. So depending on the project, it might come in handy. The other option, of course, is the thicker foam. And I think I did this a little bit crooked because I was talking. No, I didn't. Did I? Maybe I did. If it's crooked, it's because I was talking too much. Oh, I hope I can fix it. Anyway, so it might be an inexpensive option because the other one is the thicker foam that you can get from either Hobby Lobby or I don't know if Michael's carries it, but there is thicker foam out there. I'm going to test this really quickly because I think I may have adhered it a little bit too tight. Take a look here. This is the moment of truth. And I think it's going to fit. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. All right. Okay. There it is. So now I'm going to do the top, and I'm going to leave it just like that because I kind of want the height. And I do have the panel to adhere on the inside, so I'm not going to forget that. But what I wanted to do here is to, of course, make this dimensional. What I'm going to do first, though, is that I'm going to adhere this to the bottom because it has, like I had mentioned before, it has that adhesive part. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, but I hope that it works. So say a prayer for me because I hope I don't ruin this. Oh yeah, Carolyn, that's just being consistent. I consistently get thumbs down on my videos, so that's okay. You know, opinions, as I say, opinions are like belly buttons. Everyone has one. And I know that between my voice and my demeanor, I don't, you know, No le caigo bien a todo el mundo y yo estoy muy cómoda conmigo misma, así que no me molesta. So there's my answer to that. And I didn't say anything bad. I just said I'm comfortable enough with myself that I'm not bothered by that. It's okay to get, feedback that I don't like that. So that's okay. Somebody doesn't like heart boxes and Raquel making them on YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. I suppose I could have put it with the flowers facing up, but I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference. So I'm just gonna put that there first. I'm going to adhere this one next with, oopsie, I'm gonna try to make sure I don't get any of that liner. And of course with, try to be precise here as much as I can anyway, right? I'm just going along the sides here or the edges, and I say paper crafting is not for everyone. Being meticulous is not for everyone. That is okay in my book. That's okay. All right, so if it gets too crooked, instead of saying just for you, it's just gonna say but that's okay. We're multilingual in this house anyway, so let's see here. I'm going to try to make sure it's gonna have a shadow effect. That's what I'm gonna call it, because it's not it's not perfectly straight. Okay, here we go. We have tools for a reason, and I'm going to use mine to try to make sure that this is a little bit straighter. And of course, there's more than one way to skin a cat, so you use it as you see fit. This doesn't have such strong an adhesive that I can't fiddle with it, so I will fiddle with it till I get it the way that I think it should look. Okay. So I think that's good enough, right? Something like that. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna run with it. This little O is a little bit off, but there. Okay, here we go. Oh, Carolyn, I'm working on my next SVG, and yeah, I was just chatting with another friend about that. I'm working on it, but I'm taking your advice that, what was it you said to me? Slow is not always fast, and fast is not always slow. I was listening. So I want it to be useful and also user-friendly. So I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to try to be good about that. So I'm going to put tulle on here, and that is how I intend to make this into a shaker. It's not going to be very dimensional. It's not going to be uber full of sequins and that sort of thing. However, I'm still going to go for it. And this is how I'm going to do it, is I'm going to place a tulle on here, and then I'm going to cut around it. But yeah, I'm excited about learning how to do it, and fast is slow and slow is fast. Yes, you're right. I was listening to your advice, and also taking the advice of other crafters as well. I've been so blessed that those of you who have helped me out, you, Carolyn, Sandy, who is Decorate Your Life, also Shonda, who is Slim Cards, who's not currently doing videos, but she is on Instagram, have all supported me with that file that I made, and that just meant so much to me, because as you know, taking the risk of putting yourself out there and making something doesn't mean that everyone's gonna like it. I could have gotten a million thumbs down for that video. However, some of you have been supportive, and I love seeing how each one of you has done your different take on it also. That's the exciting part for me also there with that. And so I did an Instagram giveaway with Shonda, And that was fun too, because, you know, it's not just about making the file to sell it. It's also about, you know, blessing others with what you can make. So that was awesome, and I'm so glad to have been able to do that. So now I'm going to cut around this. And guys, if you haven't seen Carolyn's video, please, please, please go watch that also. And how she made the hat box using her digital papers, because it just came out stunning. So now I'm just cutting around here. Now you can tell I just placed adhesive on this paper and place the tool on there, no biggie. And now I'm just cutting around it. And these just happen to be fabric scissors because I like using these. But you could use whatever you have handy. And there we go. Voila. So now I have my tool on there. And now when I place this on here, I'm going to have that mesh that's going to keep my little shiny bits in there. And I'm just using my fingernail to push that a little bit there. Okay, so let's get some little brilliant things to put in there. I think, let's see here, I have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I think some little white sequins. I don't know if they'll be too big, but what I do have that's smaller is my little micro beads. So I think I'm going to use those. And these are from Renee Bouquets. So I'm going to use these just for the effect of shine. And it reminds me of those little toys we used to have as kids also, where you had to get the little marble in the right place type thing. You guys remember those? And again, this is just for fun, for kicks and giggles, as some people say. To learn not to take life too seriously. Yes, absolutely, guys. If you're new to crafting, definitely do not mix your scissors. It's like knives. I mean, you know, you don't want to use your cheap knife to cut a steak, and you don't want to use your expensive scissors to cut paper. Fabric is a whole different, you know, medium than paper, so don't mix those up. As you can see there, this sometimes when it dries a little bit it'll clog up, but as you can tell, I just use this a stainless steel needle there, and was able to unclog that really easily. Okay, so now I'm just going to place my adhesive here, not being too overly generous either, but just in key places so that my paper doesn't lift. And that's why I'm doing this. And I may have picked up a micro bead or two on the tip of my glue. Okay, so now this is going to go right on top. Just like so. And of course, the immediate temptation is to start shaking this right away, but you don't want to do that, because if you do, you're going to have a hot mess on your hands. So just trying to make sure that it does line up. And of course the foam is not 100% straight, because foam has that, you know, ability to kind of move around and jiggle a little bit, but you get the point. The other thing is that applying adhesive here is not going to be detrimental to this project, because it will dry clear. So even if you get a little bit of micro beads here and there stuck, it's okay, not a big deal. I just wanted to have a different twist to that. So here it is. It's got all those little beads in there. I don't know if you guys can see them or not. But then, of course, before I give this away, I'll add the little gems and all that stuff. I as I did over here. So, yes, Josie, I think you would enjoy it. I think it's adorable. I love making little boxes and that sort of thing. And of course, if you wanted to, you could add the little flower. Because this has the sentiment on it, I'm not going to add the flower there. But I think what I want to do is add the little gems before you guys leave. Because it's already 11. But if you're still with me, I do appreciate it. And for this, I may use hot glue. Let me take a look here. But I have some of these pink gems, and I think they're going to be just the right size. Yeah, the little itty bitty ones. These are from Hobby Lobby, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is where I got these little gems. And I think they're darling. So I should have zoomed in. I realized that I didn't. So I should have had you guys see this closer. Okay, so I'm just strategically placing these first. And then I will use my adhesive, of course. I just like to map it out first. And the other option would be to do Nouveau drops. That would be gorgeous. Okay. Or sequins, you know, you could do the sequins and then the gems. That's another thing I love to do. Oh, hi. Hi, Isabel. And hi, let me see here. Oh, yes, Isabel. Good morning, Isabel. Yes, I don't tend to announce my live videos, and I just wanted to come along to let you guys know about some sales that TONIC Studios has right now, as well as to craft along and chat with my crafty friends. So that's why I'm here today. And okay, so now I'm going to use just a tiny little drop here of hot glue. I tend not to decorate my crafts on live videos, but today I figure why not make that exception. So I hope all is well with you, Isabel. And don't worry about being late. It's okay. You haven't missed a heck of a lot. Just me rambling on as I craft. And what I did was to show the assembly of this, well, this one, but this little heart-shaped box from TONIC Studios. It's really adorable, and yeah, I really like it. And this was one of the Wednesday deals. I believe it was from last Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So this week they had a different deal. It was the Mythical Glade die set. I believe it's still on. Whoopsie. I believe it's still on sale, is what I meant to say. Oh, thank you, Isabel. I truly appreciate it. So as you can tell here, I'm just using this to place the little gems in the center. And it's a great way to find out which ones you glued on and which ones you haven't. But so yeah, if you just got here, Isabel, I encourage you to please come back on Sunday to watch my next project video for Renee Bouquets. It was a lot of fun to make, and it took it's interesting because you tend to work in different styles or particular styles, I should say, or particular colors. And this time I went a little bit out of my comfort zone because I was having fun creating, and I'm so happy that I did. I just made something a little bit different than I've been making recently, because as much as I like the light and airy colors and that sort of thing, I like to delve into other colors as well. So here is my finished box. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I have thoroughly enjoyed it myself. Putting little beads in there and just the sound. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it sounds shaky now. Yes, on Sunday the video will be live by 5 a.m. So it's just gonna, it's already made, it's already published and everything. It'll just go live on Sunday because of, design team. You have to have room for everyone, of course, when you collaborate with others. It's not about a race or anything like that. So, excuse me. So that video will go live on Sunday. However, it's also going to be on my website at paintsandglitter.com. So www.paintsandglitter.com. That'll be live there as well. And it'll have all of the details, the links, and all of that stuff. So if you like the micro beads, that link will be available, of course. And anything else like that you may like from Renee Bouquets. It's wonderful, to use the products because they lend a beautiful touch to what you're making. Oh, thank you so much, Carmen. Thank you. Sandra, thank you. So this was a lot of fun to make. And I mean, I know that I went a little bit slow because I was chatting, but when you're working on your own and you're not paying attention to the internet and that sort of thing, it goes by a lot faster. And as, I don't know if I showed you guys the other options here, but let me quickly show you. I only use one of these little panels, but like I mentioned before, there are 8 other different elements that you could interchange. So you don't have to go with this look. I just happened to pick the ones that I knew immediately I wanted to try. But if you use pattern papers, for instance, this paper here, which I think is so gorgeous, you don't have to do a whole lot to make this look really stunning. I think the quality of papers when it comes to paper crafting, I've learned in the long run that, it's better to craft with materials that when you look at, you go, wow. Because then when you look at the end result, it's a lot more, how do I say it? Substantial looking than if you use a paper that maybe doesn't have a lot of texture in it. Now, having said that, another thing that I love to do, and let me show you an example. Okay. And yeah, selfish plug here, but that's okay. Another thing I like to do is dry emboss the paper. Okay, so say you have expensive paper on something, but then not expensive paper on the other, parts of it or of your project. Dry emboss it and you get a really nice lush finish to your project. So that's something that I love to do. And that way you don't have to necessarily spend a lot of money on what you're making. Because one embossing folder you can use over and over and over again and get a really beautiful result with it. So that's just another little recommendation on my part. But yeah, I thank you guys for joining me today. This has been a lot of fun. And I so appreciate your support of my channel. I hope to keep bringing you guys content that you guys enjoy. And also to encourage you guys to create... Oh, thank you. God bless you too, Carolyn. I truly appreciate you guys. Please support one another. Those of you who have channels, by all means, leave them either in the comments or, link them. Or actually, I can't use links on the chat. I think I disabled that because of the trolls, But leave your channel name. That way you guys can support one another and yeah, and watch each other's videos, join in each other's swaps or challenges, that sort of thing. There's always something going on, of course, on YouTube. And I love encouraging others to just keep doing what you do and love and share what you know, because I think that's very important. But yeah, thank you so much for having joined me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take advantage of the sales that are going on. And I hope that you can be inspired and be blessed. Bye-bye, everyone.